Well, good evening, Seth. How you doing?
I'm good, man. You look like a cross between Charlie Chaplin and Stan Laurel tonight with that hat.
Well, thank you. I'd say I enjoyed both, both of them. So.
Yeah, I especially like Laurel and Hardy. That was
Yep,
always my favorite growing up.
yep. I watched it too, growing up. Yep.
They were good singers too. I don't know if you ever watched any of the episodes they did where they sung and had some musicians on there, but they could sing harmony
Yeah,
really well.
really. Well, why not? Speaking of singing harmony, we're pretty good. Ralph Stanley is pretty good at it too.
Yeah, there's not much better.
Yeah. What you got picked out for the people tonight?
Well, we're going into uncharted territory. I've never even listened to this stuff. The next thing on here, we're just continuing the tape from the last time we were on. It says the next thing on here is the Ralph Stanley Festival from McClure, Virginia.
Okay.
And then after that, it says Stanley Brothers Radio Program, Baltimore, Maryland, 1964.
Okay.
So we're going to hear Ralph and his band, I guess, and then Ralph and Carter from years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I talked to Gary Reed earlier, tried to talk him into coming on the show tonight. But he's, of course, the leading expert on this Carter and Ralph Stanley and the Stanley Brothers. And he's written a lot about, and he's probably the ultimate authority on the Stanley Brothers.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, I remember that time he was on with us a few months ago.
Yep. Yep. So, well, I guess. I better say this too, but I've been communicating with both Pete Rowan and Richard Green, and they have both agreed to come on the show as guests. So that'd be interesting to hear because, they played a lot of different band together, in Monroe's band, and then with C Train and Mule Skinner, and
Yeah.
Through the years.
Yeah, they've got some stories when they get together.
You better believe it, boy.
Yeah. And Richard had enough of his own stories when we had him on that week. That was just wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
All the tales he had, and I just can't imagine putting him and Peter Rowan together.
I know.
We better set aside the whole night.
Yeah.
It'll take all night.
I want to hear some stories from the recording of that Mule Skinner, a potpourri for bluegrass jam that they recorded on the Warner Brothers label.
Yeah.
I think that's the most tasteful attempt at playing sort of mixed bluegrass and electric instruments. If you listen to the album, it's epic.
Yeah, that's really good stuff.
With Grisman and Clarence White and Richard and Peter and Bill Keith. And,
yeah, anything with Clarence White's got to be good.
Yeah. This was recorded in 73, the same year he was killed,
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was July 15th, 1973. But let's go into the Stanley Brothers here.
Yeah.
Ralph, I guess, first.
Yeah, Ralph first. I guess it's Ralph. All it says is Ralph Stanley Festival, so we might hear another band. I don't know. We'll find out.
Drum roll.
Yeah, we got to get situated.
Yeah. Well, it's been awfully hot down here in the flatlands today.
It's been awful wet up here in the mountains. We had that hurricane come through and a lot of flooding around here.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that. We had early part of the day was really windy.
Okay, here we are. I think we're ready to roll.
Okay, that sounds good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to McClure.
Might take a minute for some music to come on. I don't know how far down the tape the music is.
My darling left me this morning, she left me feeling so blue. I'm gonna roll, rock, and ramble and try to forget all about you. I heard you coming, heard it coming down the track. It's taking away my darling, never to bring her back. Well, I know I can't forget her, so I won't even try. I'll go through life a wondering until the day I die. I heard you coming, hurry, coming down the track. It's taking away my darling, never to bring her back. My darling left me this morning, she left me feeling blue. I'm gonna go rock and ramble and try to forget all about you. I heard you coming, heard it coming down the track. It's taking away my darling, never to bring her back. Right now, we'd like to introduce you once again to the gentleman picking the five-string banjo and singing all the tenor. He's responsible for bringing you all the music that you've heard for the past 4 days here at the 5th Annual Memorial Bluegrass Festival at the Stanley Brothers' old home place. So how about another nice hand, if you would, for the one and only Colonel Ralph Stanley.
Thank you, folks. Thank you very much. I believe I told you all yesterday that we are recording a live album from the festival here this year, and we have asked some of the artists to participate, and a lot of them that you've heard on the stage will be on our next album. And we couldn't leave, I think, one of the greatest in the bluegrass music out, so let's give him a great big hand. Phil Monroe, a nice hand for him. Thank you. Bill, it's good to have you out here to sing one with me, and, I've sort of picked out one if you'd like to do. I think it's one of the finest that you ever wrote.
I'd like to do
And,
it. Well, I would like to say this is a great festival here, and I always look forward to coming up here and working with you and seeing all of our friends in the state of Virginia.
Always glad to have you. On my way back to the old home. High hill of old Kentucky, stand upon the spot in my memory. I'm on my way back to the old home, a light in the window I long to see. I'm on my way back to the old home, I rode back on up the hill, but there's no light in the window
shine on the door where I live. Soon my childhood days were over. I had to leave my home. For dad and mother were called heaven. I'm left in this world all alone. I'm on my way back to the old home. The road winds on up the hill, but there's no light in the window that's shining on the wall where I live. I'm on my way back to the old home. The road winds on up the hill, but there's no light in the window that's shining on the wall where I live. Stonewall steel bars love on my mind. I'm a three-time loser, I'm long gone this time. Jealousy has took my young life, all for the love of another man's wife. But I've had it coming, I've known all the time. No more Stonewall steel bars are you on my mind. Stonewall steel bars are love on my mind. I'm a three-time loser, I'm long gone this time. Rhinehart warden in deep Frisco Bay, guards around me leading my way. But I've had it coming at the end of the line. No more Stonewall steel bars are you on my mind. Stonewalls and steel bars are love on my mind. I'm a three-time loser, I'm long gone this time. I'm a three-time loser, I'm long gone this time.
This young gentleman, I'm going to call him to make him feel good. I believe he was 70 back in 1946, but he says he's still young. Tell him I said that. He was our first fiddle player the Stanley Brothers ever used when we first started playing. The one and only from Arizona now, Leslie Keith. A great big hand.
Thank you very much, Ralph. I'd like to say one thing. You know, I was the first fiddler they ever had. They had to put up with me till they could find one. Let's put it like that. And I was tickled to death be with them, and all of my life I've never fiddled and played with a band any nicer than they was then, and any nicer than the boys they got now. Should I do something now? All right, here's an old timer. One so old you gotta shave it before you can play it. No, the name of it's Cotton Eye Joe. Tell my fiddle brother, my go to play to Cotton Eye Joe. Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from? Cotton Eye Joe, Joe, Joe. Where'd you go? Where'd you come from? Cotton Eye Joe. I'm gonna holler one time. If you want to stick your fingers in your ears, you can. It might help. I wouldn't holler like this, but I think it belongs in the song. Don't that sound silly? Way out come the man across the field, kicking up dust like an automobile. Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from? Cotton Eye Joe, Joe, Joe. Where'd you go? Where'd you come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Y'all want to holler with me this time? Okay, when I go down like this and come back up, you start bellowing like a dying cat in a hailstorm. There they go. I got married a long time ago, and there been nothing Cotton Eye Joe. Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from? Cotton Eye Joe, Joe, Joe. Where'd you go? Where'd you come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Well, that's the last time I'm gonna holler. That's bad. I bet they hurt me over in Hip and Snitch, Oklahoma that time.
How about a big hand for Don Reno, Bill Harrell, and the Tennessee Cutout?
I'm tired of eating out of your hand. I'm tired of getting cold. These blues are leaving me up now. I'll be the one so bold. Better walk the chalk line. Let the poor man be. Or else you'll find yourself alone, but loose and fancy clean. Eating out of your hand, you think you got me on the train. You fool me more than once. Let me tell you just one thing. Someday I'll leave you, woman. Did you understand? A man can only take so much. Eating out of your hand. You're oh so domineering, your wish is my command. Your jealous heart won't let me live, your boss man demand. Clothes, a diamond ring, so fine, Cadillacs are grand. Fading out, your victim, and I'm eating out of your hand. Eating out of your hand, you think you got me on a string. You fool me more than once, let me tell you just one thing. Someday I'll leave you, woman, then you'll understand. A man can only take so much, but eating out of your hand. When I come home, you're waiting. Good question what I've done. You have my free time planned for me. I work from sun to sun. If only you would realize that old stuff gets old. A man likes just a little time. He can call his own. Eating out of your hand, you think you got me on a string. You fool me more than once. Let me tell you just one thing. Someday I'll leave you, woman. Then you'll understand. A man can only take so much. But eating out of your hand. Yeah. We always do a little singing record commercial, and we hope you'll enjoy it. Here it is. Please buy a record from us so we can get some gas for the bus. We haven't eaten since early this morning. We'll starve to death as sure as you're born. Last night we had so many people that enjoyed our show.
I think that sounded like Reno and Harold.
Yeah, you are correct. And somebody in the comment box pointed this out. This is an album that was released years ago. I believe it was called Live at McClure, Virginia. So I guess this is something that somebody recorded from that album.
Okay.
But it's still really good stuff.
Yeah,
And
well,
man, Ralph sure sounded good with Keith.
Yeah. There must have been Curly Ray playing fiddle there.
Yeah, it had to be Curly Ray.
He was fired up, man.
Yeah, I tell you what, Reno and Harold playing pretty good too.
Oh, sure. You know, Bill was a pretty decent lead guitar player, you know. And he would pretty much take a break on any song. I was in a jam with Bill Harold one time.
I bet that was pretty neat.
And, he and Peter Rowan and Butch Robbins and Mike Ramsey and Ira Gitlin.
It sounds like some super pickers to me.
Yeah, that was a good. So, well, I guess it just sounded like Harold was about to say something there. So why don't we just pick up where you stopped, and then we'll just see what happens.
Who knows? We'll see what happens.
And we enjoyed every one of y'all. So we'll close with this number we did last night. Mama don't allow no bluegrass playing. Well, Mama don't allow no bluegrass playing in here. She don't allow no bluegrass playing in here. We don't care what Mama don't allow, play bluegrass anyhow. Mama don't allow no bluegrass playing in here. Mama don't allow no fiddle playing in here. She don't allow no fiddle playing in here. But I don't care what Mama don't allow, play his fiddle anyhow. Mama don't allow no fiddle playing out here. Mama don't allow no man to stick it out here. She don't allow no man to stick it out here. Dale don't care what Mama don't allow, play the man anyhow. Mama don't allow no man to stick it out here. Play it, J-Bo. Mighty good. 14 years old. Give me a nice hat. Mama don't allow no fancy picking in here. She don't allow no fancy picking out here. Don don't care what Mama don't allow, she'll play his fancy anyhow. Mama don't allow no fancy picking out here. Now we come to the bitter bit. Mama don't allow no bass fiddle playing out here. She don't allow no bass fiddle playing out here. Hey, don't care what Mama don't allow, play the bass fiddle anyhow. Mama don't allow the bass fiddle playing out here.
Now Mama don't allow no guitar picking in here. Mama don't allow no guitar picking in here. Bill Harold don't care what Mama don't allow to play his guitar anyhow. Come on, Bill, let's share some guitar picking.
I left a note out. Let me see it. Now I got it. Now Mama don't allow no jam session out here. She don't allow no bluegrass jam out here. We don't care what Mama don't allow, play our jam session anyhow. Let's have a bluegrass jam session, all right? Rock it! Roll it! Yeah! Sing it! Yeah! Larry Sparks and the Lonesome Ramblers, give them a hand.
There's a well-beaten path on the old mountainside where I wandered tonight. Time wanders and all to the place I call home in those blue red shoes far away. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. From those blue red hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bury me in the mountains far away in my Blue Mountain home. I returned to that old cabin home with the sun. I belong in birthdays long. When I die, won't you bury me on the old mountainside? Make my resting place on the hill tonight. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. From those blue red hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bury me in the mountains far away in my Blue Mountain home. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. From those blue red hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bury me in the mountains far away in my Blue Mountain home. Thank you all.
Well, we got a little bit of a issue here. We just kind of ran out of music.
Yeah, I guess that was the end of Sparks playing, and I think that's all I've got of that album on this tape. So next up is Ralph and Carter. Well, I figured while we had a break in the music there, we just pause for a minute.
So 1964.
Yeah, if that's what's next, I think it is. But well, these tapes sometimes have surprises on them.
Yeah, but that's just makes it more exciting.
Yeah, boy, I enjoyed Larry's set or the song that he did. You know.
Yeah, and Reno and Harold too. You know, it was flying.
I bet that was Mike Lilly playing with Larry Sparks. That sounded like him.
Yeah, he and who else did? Wendy
Yeah, I
Miller
believe he was playing
Sparks?
mandolin at that time.
Yeah. And Dale Reno was 14 years old on that. Mama don't allow any, mandolin picking. That's it's pretty good. 14 years old. So. Of course, see, that was Buck Ryan playing fiddle on there.
Don had some talented kids, especially Ronnie.
Yeah.
Ronnie went on to do some really Good stuff with the Osborne Brothers and Merle Haggard. And
I thought the Reno Brothers, they're all good
super
players.
musicians. Super pickers.
Absolutely.
Well, I can roll the tape again and we'll see what's next. It may be this Stanley Brothers radio show. So
yeah. Okay,
let's see.
Look out, neighbors, here they come. All the way from Live Oak, Florida to the streets of Baltimore. It's the legendary Stanley Brothers and a great show that I know you'll enjoy. Turn up your radio. Your neighbors might enjoy it, too. Gang's all here. Carter and Ralph, George Shuffler, Uncle Henry Jones. They're here just for one reason, and that's to pick and sing their way into your house. And now here's Brother Ralph to talk to you.
Thank you a lot there, Ray Davis, and a great big howdy to everybody. Welcome to our program here today. We're mighty glad to be here, and I believe all the boys seem to be in pretty good spirits. Is that right, fellas? We'd like to get things underway here. I'd like to get George Shuffler up here to help me sing one that we recorded a few years ago on the Star Day label, I believe. So here it is, one called God Gave You to Me.
You tell me, darling, that it's over. Why you're leaving, I can't see. They told you lies and you believe them. It ain't right, 'cause God gave you to me. I walk the floor, sweetheart, and wonder if you found somebody new. And well, they always make you happy and love you, darling, like I do. I walk the floor, sweetheart, and wonder if you found somebody new. And well, they always make you happy and love you, darling, like I do. Little birdie, won't you sing to me your song? Got a short time to stay here and a long time to be gone. Rather be in some dark hollow where the sun don't never shine than for you to be another man's darling, and I know that you'd never be Little birdie, what makes you fly so high? When you know that my true lover is waiting in the sky. Little birdie, come and sing to me a song. You called me lots of trouble. Oh, you called me to be strong.
All right, friends, there you have a real old timer there. I think that's about the first one I ever learned, but you still keep requesting, and as long as you do, I'll still keep singing. And now here's Ray Davis with another good word.
Ralph, I just want to tell the folks where they can see you and Carter and all the Clinch Mountain boys. This Saturday, you can be seen right here at Johnny's. Now, Santa Claus is going to be here, too. I don't know who's going to take top billing, but I know all the young folks and Mom and Dad will have a good time, and we invite you to come along. And that's the story from Johnny's Used Car Lot here in Baltimore. Used car heaven, where only good cars are allowed to come. And don't you forget it. We're open tonight until 10 o'clock to prove it to you. Don't forget about our big Christmas party this Saturday. Carter and Ralph and all the Clinch Mountain boys will be here. Santa Claus Jack Cook, I think, is stopping by, so we invite you to stop by. Have a big time with us. Now let's go back to the Stanley Brothers show.
And now, friends, going way, way back, we picked out one today we thought you might like. So here it is, one called In the Pines.
The longest train I ever saw went down that Georgia line. The engine passed at 6 o'clock, and the cab passed by dawn. In the pine, where the sun never shines, Lord, I shivered when the cold wind blows. Woo, 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 Little girl, where you stay last night? Not even your mama knows. Lord, I stayed in the pine where the sun never shines, and I shivered when the cold wind blows. Woo, woo, I asked my captain for the time of day. He said he probably want to play. It's a long sea rail and a short cross tie. I'm on my way back home. In the pine, where the sun never shines, Lord, I shivered when the cold wind blows. Woo, woo, woo,
And that's Ralph doing a little banjo boogie for you. Don't forget that mailing address now. If you want to send us a postcard or a letter and let us know what you want to hear on the show, send it to Wango Records at 4801 Harford Road, Baltimore, 14, Maryland. And now here's Brother Carter.
All right, much obliged there, Ray. Some mighty good advice, and I know the neighbors will be taking advantage of that real soon. Well, looks like we've got the old poet coming, dragging back around here. Uncle Henry, how you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling just like a tight pair of breeches today.
Like a tight pair of breeches?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know how a tight pair of breeches feel. How
Just
is that?
ready to rip.
Oh, how about that?
You
A
know-
man your age, too.
You know, I was just thinking, I had the laryngitis like you had the other day, you know.
Well, tell me, what in the
Yeah.
world did you do for it?
I went down and seen my doctor. Old Dr. Homer Elam, I believe was his
Yeah,
name.
well, you know, I've been to see the doctor, too.
Yeah. I tell you, I went down and seen my doctor, though, to get a cure. You know, he's supposed to give you one of these shots and just clear it right up.
Yeah, I've heard about
Clear it
that.
all up.
Don't always work that way, though.
No, it don't. I went down to see him the other day, and I walked up to the door, and I knocked on the door, and this good-looking nurse, you know, she walked up there and opened the door.
Uh-huh.
I said, "Is the doctor in?"
Yeah.
She looked around just a little bit. She said, "No, come on in."
All right, Uncle Henry. That'll be enough out of you now. You behave yourself there. I believe Ralph's got a solo number that he wants you and Uncle George and the boys to kindly join in and help out on here, if you will. One called A Man of Constant Sorrow.
In constant sorrow, my day, I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the state where I was born and raised, the state where he was born and raised. For 6 long years I've been in trouble, no plague or yet on earth I found. For in this world I'm bound to ramble, I have no friend to help me now. He has no friend to help him now. It's fare you well, my old true lover. I never expect to see you again. For I'm bound to ride that northern railroad. Perhaps I'll die on the train, or he may die on his train. You can bury me from this valley for many years where I may lie of another while I'm sleeping in my grave, while he is sleeping in his grave. Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you never will see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you out God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore.
There's a real old timer. That's me and George Shuffler doing the picking there on one called The Wildwood Flower. Now we'd like to gather around and do one of our record numbers we hope you enjoy called 6 Months Ain't Long.
6 months ain't long for me to be gone. 6 months ain't long. 6 months ain't long for me to be gone. Hold on, 6 months ain't long.
Come on, my friends, wherever you may be, and listen to my song. You hope to see I'm in the wrong, 'cause all I've got's undone.
6 months ain't long for me to be gone. 6 months ain't long. 6 months ain't long for me to be gone. Hold on, 6 months ain't long.
If I'd have been trained by an upright judge for 6 long months of time, I'd do my best to make the test, and darling, I'll be home soon.
6 months ain't long for me to be gone. 6 months ain't long. 6 months ain't long for me to be gone. Hold on, 6 months ain't long.
The judge, he fixed my signature. The clerk, he wrote it down. 6 months ain't long in the county jail, or shooting up this town.
6 months ain't long for me to be gone. 6 months ain't long. 6 months ain't long for me to be gone. Hold on, 6 months ain't long.
All right, there, and moving right on to the program now today, we'd like to sing a hymn. We get a lot of requests for the sacred numbers, and we enjoy doing them most of all. And we'd like to do one today that I guess has been one of our most requested gospel songs called Jordan.
Oh, come and make your line journey, take you safely daily guide. Oh, you may feel good safely without him walking by your side. But when you come to make the crossing, at the end of the pilgrim way, if you ever will need our Savior, you sure need him on that day.
Now look at that,
Oh, Jordan,
look at it,
deep water,
look at that.
wide river, oh, hear the mighty billows roll.
You better take
Jesus with you,
He's a
true companion.
for us.
Sure, without him, that you never will make it home. Well, that old day of judgment is coming in the by and by. We'll see the Lord descending in glory from on high. So let us keep in touch with Jesus, and in the space of the love of God, we may be ever
at that cold Jordan. Look at its deep water. Look at that wide river. Oh, hear the mighty billows. Oh, you'd better take Jesus with you. He's a true companion, for I'm sure without him that you never will make it home. Oh, what you gonna do? Oh, what you gonna say? Oh, how you gonna feel when you come away?
Well, talk about some old down-home banjo picking. That's Brother Ralph there in the background. The old five-string banjo and Shout Little Looty.
Well, is that what I think, or
What's that, Jan? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
was that
No,
it?
there's still more to go. I figured we'd just take a pause there and take a short break.
You know, George Shuffler, he was a fantastic.
And a native
player.
North Carolinian, too.
Yeah, I met him a few times. Very friendly guy. Funny.
I never got to meet him. I wish I would have. He was from downtown.
When I was playing, we played there's the Old Rock School in Valdez, I guess it is. Yeah, and George would come out and see the show.
That was right in his back door, I think. People in his family I know are from down that way.
Yeah, and Ron.
Yeah,
Shuffler.
Ron still lives down that way, I believe.
Yeah, he's another good.
Yeah, very talented family. I know George had a gospel group with his family in this area for a long time.
Yeah.
But man, what a guitar player. He was probably to me, the first flat picker in bluegrass music. I know there was others that played lead guitar before him, but I thought he was the one that put it on the map.
He definitely was one of the early ones.
And he could play the fast stuff or the slow stuff. I mean, he could do a lot more than most other guitar players at the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's really, really very influential in his way, in his style.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty more. It looks like the tape's got a good bit left on it, so we can see what's there.
Yeah, let's just do that. And Jeff Michael says he's been to Ron Shuffler's house twice this week.
Yeah, I see Ron. I hadn't seen him in a while. I used to see him all the time at the guitar show in Asheville and Spartanburg, and now that's a thing of the past, at least for now.
Yeah, yeah. like everything else, but we just have to
Yeah.
hang in there, I guess.
Well, here we go with some music.
Yes.
There's a sunny side where no wheels be tied on the road that we must go. There are pleasant vales, verdant hills and dales, where sweet flowers ever grow. Oh, the happy, happy, sunny, verdant glowing dale, where the sweetest joy and gladness ever there prevail. Where the sunshine ever lingers on the grand majestic hills of the sunny side of life. There are shady dales where no gladness dwells, and the clouds obstruct the view. But a brighter way, like the light of day, is awaiting there for you. Oh, the happy, happy, sunny, verdant glowing dale, where the sweetest joy and gladness ever there prevail. Where the sunshine ever lingers on the grand majestic hills of the happy, sunny side of life. Let us sing a song as we go along. Let us banish care and strife, that the world may know as we onward go. There's a sunny side of life. Oh, the happy, happy, sunny, verdant glowing dale, where the sweetest joy and gladness ever there prevail. Where the sunshine ever lingers on the grand majestic hills of the happy, sunny side of life.
Well, that's mighty good singing, Carter and Ralph, on that happy sunny side of life, and that's what the folks are going to be on when they buy their next car, right here at Used Car Heaven, where only good cars are allowed to come. 4801 Harford Road, Johnny's in Baltimore. And once more, friends, it's my pleasure to present Ralph Stanley.
Thank you a lot, Ray Davis. And now, moving right on with the program here, I'd like to introduce you to the old maid's heartthrob. So here comes Uncle Henry Jones.
Here he is. Listen, I got a little question for you today, Ralph.
All right, go ahead and ask
Could you
me.
tell me how to make antifreeze?
I was just going to tell you that I'll answer it whether I know it or not.
Would you?
Uh-huh.
Well, could you tell me how to make antifreeze?
No, I don't believe I do. How do you?
You hide her pajamas.
You know, he's getting worse all the time. He sure is. Listen, Uncle Henry, if you want to pull off something old, why don't you pull off them dirty socks you got?
Why, are you taking in laundry today?
All right, now. I don't know, Ralph, what you going to do with that old man. He's kind of hard to handle. It seems like the older he gets, the rougher he gets. Uncle Henry, you're doing all right, though. What'd you say, George?
The older he gets, the rougher he smells.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that about it. Neighbors, that's just about it. We hope you've enjoyed it. It sure has been a lot of fun visiting here with you today. Well, old buddy Ray Davis, and I hope you'll be listening and looking the next time we come around. So until then, thanks a lot. So long, neighbor.
So long, Carter. You've been listening to the Stanley Brothers, brought to you from the studios of Wango Records in Baltimore. We hope you've enjoyed it. Tell your friends and neighbors about it, and be on hand next time when they pick and sing their way into your hearts. And now they're on their way back to Live Oak, Florida, from the streets of Baltimore. The Stanley Brothers, Carter and Ralph, and the Clinch Mountain Boys.
Well, I guess that might be the end of that. Seth, what do you think? You want to fast forward,
Yeah,
or should we
I think
just
that might be the end. I'll fast
stop?
forward a little bit and see if there's anything left. I figured there was more on there, but I guess not. Yeah, I think that's all she wrote, Jan.
Well, I guess so. There was a lot of good stuff on
Yeah,
there.
some interesting stuff. I guess bluegrass bands back in those days just played wherever they could. And I guess the car lot was where Carter and Ralph landed, and that paid the bills for a little while.
Well, I don't know how picky musicians can be today. It's pretty tough to be a musician.
Pretty slim pickings right now.
Yeah.
But those guys, they lived through some hard times, and they lived through that because they loved the music, and it showed in their playing and singing. They just loved the music so much.
Yeah.
That's the problem I think today with a lot of newer bands is they just don't have that. They don't have the love for the music like these guys did. It was their whole life.
Yeah. I mean, Frank Buchanan was like that.
He was.
It was all about the music for him.
A lot of those guys from that generation, Frank Buchanan's good friend Raymond Fairchild, his whole life was music.
Yep. I know it. Yeah. Well, anyway, I guess we'll just tell everybody good night then. And this is probably the shortest show.
Yeah, I was expecting more music, so next we'll play a little longer set, or what I hope will be a longer set.
Yeah. And as I mentioned earlier, that we hope to, or we have got confirmation from both Rich Green and Pete Rowan that they will come on the show. So now we just need to find a date where they can.
Yeah, and we need to find a good show. You've probably got one that has Peter Rowan playing with maybe Bill Monroe or the Mule Skinner stuff. If we can find some music.
Mule Skinner, I got live shows with Tony Rice and Richard Green.
Wonderful.
And I got, when they played, like, for example, live in Japan, there's some live in Japan shows that we could play. 1976, in May, they toured.
That was a popular time to go to Japan. Bill Monroe had went in 75.
Yeah. In December.
So did, I believe J.D. Crowe went in 75 too.
Yep,
so the bluegrass music was really, really hot.
I went to Japan the summer of 76, So I arrived there in June, and these local pickers, and there was a pretty substantial bluegrass subculture there, and they told me that the Grisman Quintet, or a sort of fortified Grisman Quintet, but they had some extra musicians with them and a couple of different bass players, for example. So they would do like one set bluegrass and one set like Grisman or dog music or whatever you want to call it. But they just told me that they had been there, the quartet or the Grisman band had been there just a month before in May, and that was pretty I don't know, frustrating. It would have been great to get to see them like that. Just that lineup, Bill Keith was on the tour, and was it Buell Neidlinger maybe on bass or somebody like that?
Cool.
Extra bass player. And Daryl Anger and Richard Green, they would do twin fiddle for the bluegrass section.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a shame you miss stuff like that, but I guess everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. I got some tapes back then, like real good. Well, not so good quality, but later on they've been uploaded by several people, and they're available on YouTube, I believe. If not, I can certainly, upload some. But man, maybe we could
Oh,
get
that'd
Tony
be wonderful. I wish I had some live shows of Tony and this stuff. That's the one thing I regret about some of the music in this collection is they don't have anything with Tony and JD and those guys.
I know. Yeah, but it's still just a gold mine what you got.
Yeah,
there.
and there's plenty more to come. We'll just keep playing it as the weeks go by, and we'll get to all of it one day.
And I just picked up about 100 live shows from let's say a mutual friend of ours. When they in different formats, like cassette tape, reel tapes, and then that format, and and then some CDs. So it's quite an interesting project.
This stuff will keep you busy, man.
Yeah, but there is some stuff, Lord, like Lost and Found, several live tapes of Lost and Found. Early 70s Red Allen, and I don't think I can remember anything.
I love Red Allen, man. What a bluegrass singer.
Yeah. Well, Seth, my friend, you want to come on the camera and tell the people good night?
Yeah, let me get this thing situated.
Let me see here. Yeah. Well, there was a lot of interesting surprises.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Well, so maybe we'll have Richard Green and Peter Rowan on next week. If not, you had something picked out already.
Not yet, but we'll pick out something if we need to.
Yeah. I see Gary Goodwin is asking Dan Wells about the song. Yep. And Dan did, correct. He did play with Ramona back in the day. So anyway, well, thank you everybody for listening in tonight, and thank you for y'all's support. You can.
Yeah, it was a good show tonight, and I had some people commenting and saying good stuff.
Yeah.
I like the dialogue we create sometimes, just people
very knowledgeable
things.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll just say good night, and then we'll see everybody next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Good night, friends and neighbors. We need to have a little introductory piece of music, like what do you call it, a theme?
Yeah, we could do Jimmy Martin's theme time. That's a pretty good theme.
That is, yeah, it's really good. Theme. Isn't that a Emerson tune?
Yeah, I think he wrote that when he was with Jimmy Martin.
Oh yeah.
They needed a theme song for a radio show, and that's what he come up with and named it Theme Time.
Well, Emerson I love his banjo tunes.
He's very solid. You know, he's one of the most solid banjo players there ever was.
Yeah. I mean, you hear Jimmy Martin. You know, he's always talking about Jay Necro and Bill Emerson.
Yeah. No matter who was in the band, he kept talking about those guys.
Yeah, how good they were and not so good the current banjo player was.
He used to say he'd be talking about the other banjo players, and he'd say they're trying to learn how to play.
Yeah. My old friend Greg Corbett went and tried out for Jimmy Martin, and Jimmy made him buy the album so he could learn the material. On that note, good night, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Good night.